What's going on, guys? It's Lurking here from Mobalytics, coming at you with a Frozen Orb. Just kidding. This is a bit of a journey guide. Just want to help out my fellow sorcerers. Sort of can feel a little lost sometimes. A lot of things have changed with the bosses, and the XP and the difficulty. So I just kind of wanted to give people some advice. It's pretty concise on how to go from level 1 normal all the way up to Penitent and Torment 1, and then like what exactly to do the second that you hit Torment 1. Just prioritization of activities, XP, bossing, which bosses to avoid, which bosses to do, what builds are good, like what powers are gonna, blast you through up to Torment 1, what powers are gonna be good in Torment 1, 2, 3, and like what you should be using towards the end game and stuff. And I got some build guides linked, some of the ones that I really liked, ones that I got good feedback on, and just like what I think. Like leveling, great leveling. Run the leveling builds up until like Torment 1-ish. Then you can transition to like one of the A or B tier builds that are kind of easier to build, like Fireball, Blizzard, etc. up through Torment 3. And then like once you want to move into Torment 4, you can play those, or you can like move on to like one of the S tier builds or something like that. And those builds will help you get there. So without further ado, let's start in Torment. Let's start in normal at the incursion. So a quick rundown of what to do the second that you load into the game. The very first time, say it's Saturday, you're first logging in, you'll start in Kielvashad. You should do the quest lines that you should always be doing. The seasonal quest line that's assigned to you. Get off of me, guys. You'll be doing the seasonal quest line that's assigned to you, and then you're going to want to go to these apparition incursions. I would advise loading in on normal or hard. Normal's fine. The XP that you gain into hard really isn't that good, and you really want this incursion area to be really populated. You're gonna hit a point where you do these incursion areas and there's nobody here, and they end up being really slow. So you want to be in a Torment tier, or you want to be in an area or at a difficulty level where there are players with you, because you need to click on these eyes. And when the incursions are down, you should be doing Helltides. It's literally incursion, Helltide, incursion, Helltide, and that's really all you should be doing. We just kind of blasted. We didn't really do any nightmare dungeons. We weren't running nightmare dungeons. We weren't really bossing. You can't really in the early Torment tiers, but yeah, I'm just sort of waiting for the incursion to start. The incursions are really important because it gets all your boss powers. And then once you get all the boss powers, you do not need to do this incursion anymore to farm Spectral Ash. You just farm bosses, and they drop so much. Like, I have 20,000 extra Ash, and all my powers are leveled from just sitting at bosses. But as you can see, it's nice. 1 or 2 guys showed up. So now, to start it, you click on this Betraying Eye, and then you run around. And then as you can see on the minimap, you have these little indicators. You got to click on these eyes. And when you're doing this by yourself, it can take, like, towards the later area too, it ends up like you click all the eyes and you still have time left. So really all you want to be doing is running from eye to eye, clicking it. And hopefully where'd that exquisite blood go? Nice. And then as you can see, like, some of these other players in here are clicking it. If you're in these by yourself, it can take quite a long time. These are very repetitive, and they're okay. They're not that fun, but they're not that boring. It's just sort of... The great thing is that you're not forced to do these. Like, you'll probably end up doing 20 or 30 of these. And then you'll probably be... By the time you hit there, you'll probably be in Torment 1. You can see the apparition of Kerma spawned. And when you kill him... Let's see, when he finally dies... Where is he? Come here. Wow, he's teleporting a lot. When you finally kill him, it won't drop on the ground, but it will just load straight in here. I don't know where it is, but Kerma's Sparks. Right here. You would have gotten this boss power. If you kill Kerma again, it doesn't like upgrade the boss power for you. It's just whatever. So it can be sometimes it's up to RNG which of these blue boss powers that you end up getting, but you will eventually fill them out. Alright, so what happens, I could probably get out of here because I don't really care, but you do the same thing in this other area. Go around, kill all the enemies. You're looking for eyes, you're looking for whatever. I guess I'll just finish it out. But yeah, it hits a point where, you click on all the eyes, you click on everything when you're solo. and then you end up running around. That's why I really like Subo, because you end up running around and you need to just like kill all these enemies. I think the red ones to progress the bar. But when there's more people, it seems to like, it's almost like the density scales with people. So when it's only one person, there's like not enough density or eyes to like progress it all the way. But you do the eye thing twice, and now Belial's gonna spawn. You're gonna kill him. Actually, I think before Belial, a second boss will spawn, so you will get 2 powers per incursion. And after this, I'm gonna talk about what the best powers are for leveling. I'll do it in the training dummy. All right, so cool. We got 2 powers here. We got Kurmas, and then we got Cinerats. Cinerats is really great for Enlightenment builds because it boosts up your non-physical multiplier. And let's find out. We're here, Cinerats. That modifier there, 25%. Let me go back on it. Sorry. That modifier there, 25% non-physical damage there, down at the bottom, is very strong. So then Belial spawns. And Belial actually, I don't know if it's guaranteed, but Belial usually drops some oranges. So he's really good leveling. He'll end up, that's how you get, that's how like you're gonna get all your aspects. Like he usually always drops like I usually always get 1 legendary from him. So like I found an Incinerate aspect really early because of Belial. And then I found a second one. I was able to give it to my buddy so that he could level with that. But let's go into the training dummy, and I'm going to show you some of the best boss powers to level up. All right, guys, I want to show you the leveling builds that I like the most and that I heard the best feedback from. The first would be the Alex Talons setup. Let me find that. So that's right here. Casting a basic skill applies sparking damage, which is lightning damage over time. With the spark, it chains off enemies and it hits other enemies, so it can stack up pretty nicely. And this is very strong leveling. And you just have to do the incursion event and just keep doing it until you get the talons. You'll get it eventually. It took me a really long time. I got really unlucky. It was the last power that I found, so I wasn't able to play with it myself. I'd already gotten a bunch of Incinerate aspects, and I was moving on to that. And then the first world boss that we found was Ashiva. So I ended up running a Blizzard Ashiva Poison Breath build. So let's put Blizzard on. So you cast Blizzard a couple times, and as you can see, this every 2 seconds, this poison comes out and it hits enemies. And it, you know, really early, it was very strong. And you can run this without, if you don't have Ice Shard aspect, if you don't have Ice Spike aspects for Glacial, for that sort of setup, you can still just run this as a dot with the Ashiva as your main damage dealer. And then, you know, the Blizzard, it does some damage itself. And then you can also run it in a setup like with Hydra, where you can cast Hydra, you deal damage. And then, you know, with Familiar Enchant, you will make the Fire Familiars, they will deal damage. And this setup's actually, it's very good. So that's something you can do. And then next, let's move on to other powers that I really liked. So say you were playing Blizzard, let's put Blizzard back in. The next power that I really like is the Ice Sleets. This one was really strong. I'm going to change this to the bosses. And I'm going to actually change, I'm going to put this on like my setup. Like this. So these Ice Sleet thing on the ground, they're all staggered now, so now it's not going off. The second they're not staggered, you can see like the Ice Sleet's just going off, going off, going off. Which really, it doesn't appear to be an internal cooldown on it. So if you have a skill, if you have a build that applies a lot of crowd control like Blizzard or Frozen Orb, this Ice Sleet power is pretty insane. It's very strong. And yeah, those are the 3 powers I really liked. I liked Alex Talons for the sparking damage. I liked Ashiva's Poison for the poison damage. It was really strong early, and then once you kill Beast in the Ice, if you're playing, a build with a lot of CC, this has a really high multiplier percentage too, so I thought it was really good, and it was awesome. Alright, so you have now made it into Torment 1, and the first thing that you need to do is you need to spam pits and get a bunch of XP, because the most power that you're going to gain on Sorcerer is from your Paragon board. You need to reach your legendary nodes, and you want to get your glyphs to around 46. And then once you have like your board filled out with 5 legendary nodes, 5 level 46 glyphs, that's when you really start bossing. You can definitely do some intermediary bossing. during that time to get the items that you need, but you shouldn't be focusing on getting mythics and stuff. You should have enough power to, you're going to want to bum rush basically Paragon 175, and that's sort of when your board is like complete, and then the rest starts to become fluff, like max life or more resists, damage reduction, things of that nature. So ideally you're going to load into Pit, Torment tier 10, and just start blasting, and then you can do some Hell Tides, you can do some other stuff, do some Whispers, a couple Nightmare Dungeons to get some boss materials, because you are gonna want to get like, not even Ancestral, but just like legendary versions of the uniques that you need for your build. The 3 builds that I recommend, the 4 builds, one is Incinerate. Incinerate can last you a really long time with the Flamethrower aspect. I'll link all these builds, but Incinerate's really strong early because so much of the power is in the aspects. It's very good, but you have to stand still. Second I like is Blizzard. Blizzard is really strong this season. It received a lot of buffs. That's Blizzard here. Let's see, with the Glacial aspect on your amulet. Frozen Wake, Frozen Tundra, very strong build, very good with Beast Ice Sleets, very good with Ashva's Poison. The problem with it is that once the game devolves into speed farming, Blizzard kind of falls off because it takes so long to ramp up the damage, and it kills enemies behind you. So a lot of times you'll miss out on the loot. My personal favorite is Fireball. Fireball is very good. All you need are Staff of Endless Rage right here, and Gloves of the Illuminator, which I don't have on, but in the Sorcerer fact it'll tell you where to get those. The Endless Rage is from Varshan, and the Illuminators are from Beast in the Ice. That build's really amazing. So just increases all the damage, and then the gloves solve your mana. And then last but not least is the Frozen Orb, Lightning Spear, Splintering Energy starter guide, and that's the one that I'm running right now. And honestly, this has taken me all the way to Paragon 218, and it's taken me all the way to my glyphs being level 88. I can probably get these to 100 now that I've started to, I've got 2 mythics and stuff, but it's starting to take a little longer, and I don't know if I'm going to level them up all the way because I'm just kind of tired of doing pits, and this might be where I end my glyphs this season, level 88, level 90. We'll see if I take them the rest of the way. I probably I will end up doing it. But the Frozen Orb, the Fractured Winter Glass, is so strong. It comes with so many ranks to Primordial Binding, and you will always have 12 spears out if you can get good enough attack speed. I got a guide there. It's been really good. People have been loving it. I'm nuking bosses in T4. I need a lozenge. I've been talking too much. Too many takes. But yeah, just spam pits and do a few bosses just to get your stuff. But don't worry too much about your gear. And then you can masterwork it up a little bit, but don't worry too much about the hits. You're going to worry about that later. That's when you start doing Undercity rotations for Obusite down here with these tributes of refinements, and you start running Nightmare Dungeons for Obusite, and you really just start hammering in the Masterworks trying to hit what you want. But just XP is the most important thing. Infernal Hordes and pits. That's what you need to do. Got to get your Paragon filled out. So now let's talk about bossing on Sorc, the correct way to do it, to optimize your materials. And big shout out to Aniza there, who put together the Sorcerer fact, the FAQ there in the Sorc chat. But the bosses, the main boss that you should really be doing on Sorc is Varshan and Belial. Mainly Varshan because it drops Raymond's and it drops Telrash's Incandescent Loop. Telrash's loops are worth a lot of money. The good ones, the ones that have above 20% damage on the unique aspect. And all these bosses are really good because they don't have damage gates, like forced damage gates. You can nuke Beast and you can nuke Urvar, but if you don't have the DPS, they will sort of do a phase. But typically, Beast is done like a tier lower than you're comfortably farming, like the other ones. These ones are really good. All these tier 1s. These have better drop rates for the mythics. These are like the tier 2 ones. Duriel, Indario, and Harbinger. But personally, I will not run these anymore. After the first day or two of running them, they're just really bad because they have forced damage gates. You take Duriel down the 2/3 health, he burrows. Take him down the 1/3 health, he burrows. It's like you have to go through his annoying mechanics and wait for him. And it's just like when you're farming, it's just terrible. I like these. I don't even like these fights. I like Harbinger fight, but I digress. And then each time that you kill a boss, it has a chance to summon this little mini Belial boss. You'll hear him. It's when you open the chest, it'll do a voice line. He'll come in, you'll kill him, and he'll drop a Betrayer Husk. And what's awesome about the Giga Belial, he's the main boss here. So you take the Betrayer Husk, you go fight him. He has no damage gates whatsoever. So all the tier 1 bosses don't have damage gates, and then Belial doesn't have damage gates. So what you should be doing, if you don't need items from these guys, is honestly just selling them and buying the T1 materials. And then as you're doing rotos, as you're killing bosses, what will happen is you will drop these consumables here. Where are they? As you can see, I have 68 Tribute of Titans. So basically what you do is you do bosses, you get Tributes of Titans, and then you go to Undercity down here, Undercity's down here, and you run Tribute of Titans either by yourself or in rotations. You get more boss mats, and then you run more bosses. And then, as I said, I'm completely avoiding Duriel and Dariel and Harbinger. They're just not very good. So that's sort of the loop that you do. And that loop can be pretty self-sustained, either by selling items that you're getting from the drops, or by doing the Tribute of Titans like rotations. So that's how you farm bosses. All right, so you've chosen your endgame build, and now you want your first mythic. You get 2 sparks. The first is from dropping. I drop down to Torment 1, and I go kill Lilith. I have Flame Shield and Deep Freeze that I can equip. She's not too difficult. If you're really struggling with her projectiles in the second phase, you need to use Asu's Heirloom Boots, because they have nice evade. They give you the speed to weave through them, and then you really need to time your Flame Shields when the corners of the map are disintegrating. You walk into them as they're burning, and then right as they're about to fall, you hit Flame Shield and you walk into the other one. Your second spark is going to be from the bounty board, the seasonal bounty board down in Tarsarak, that is west of Sarbanet, in Kyrgyzstan. Once you fill it, once you get all the XP, you just get that by completing activities, doing bosses, like just doing everything with it. Just doing anything gives you XP towards the bounty board, and once you're finished, you'll get a spark. I do not recommend crafting a random mythic unique. The chance, it's just if you get a Selig or like a Shrine Staff, it's just gonna hurt so bad. The mythic drop rate is really terrible this season. Like on Paragon 218, I crafted this Shaco, and I just got my first Starless to drop. I recommend crafting one down here, the rune crafting. You go to Mythic Uniques. I recommend crafting Shaco, Perdition, or Starless. Resource and attack speed, crit strike chance and damage, or cooldown reduction. These are the big ones. Whatever you think your build needs or whatever you want. This is the best for speed farming. And, Perdition and Starless are kind of tied for damage. And Starless just edge. Perdition is definitely the highest damage if you want more damage. And then Starless is like the best QOL tied with Shaco. Kind of just attack speed and the resource cost reduction. But the biggest thing here is that you need 6 Ohm runes. You need 6 legendary runes. They're incredibly difficult to drop. I have 2 here on my person, and I have about 8 or 9 in the stash. And that's like at Paragon 218. And it's like getting 6 of the same one honestly seems like an impossible task this season. You're going to need to buy them off the trade site. They range from 500 million to 1 billion. But if you're farming enough bosses and you get enough GA Tel Rashes, like right here, I could probably sell this for a few billion. You get 1 item. That's pretty good. Like you get a single GA 25% Tel Rasha, could probably sell it for enough to buy all your runes. And you're just gonna have to engage in the trading system if you want to get those runes and get that mythic, because it's been really difficult to get them. I don't think you can farm your way into them, and you certainly cannot do the reforging or crafting or rune crafting. This is a fucking terrible system, but that's how you get your first mythic.